welcome everyone to this Wednesday, April 15th Board of Commissioners meeting. We'll all rise for invocation.
Let's bow our heads for the invocation. Our Father God, we thank you and praise you, Lord. Father, we thank you for this day and for this, just your creation, Lord. We know we need the rain. We are so pleased that we missed the storms last night, Father. We just praise you for that. Father, we lift up our county this evening, that you would give us discernment in the leadership of it, that you would give us wisdom in making decisions, Lord, and that we would glorify you in the things we do and say, Lord. Help us to forever remember that we are servants of the residents of this county, Lord. And we just thank you for that opportunity. Father, be with us now as we go forth, and we lift this all up in Jesus' precious name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is roll call, and this saddens me. This is the last time I get to say roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
We'll second. My pleasure. Commissioner Shaver.
Here.
Commissioner Arndt. Commissioner Peak.
Here.
Commissioner Haskell.
Here.
Commissioner Pearl Wright.
Here.
Commissioner Whitaker.
Here.
Commissioner Moudry.
Here.
Commissioner Jones.
Here.
Commissioner Drosha.
Here.
Commissioner Toomey.
Here.
Commissioner Hanson.
Here.
Commissioner Christensen.
Here.
Commissioner Holmes.
Here.
Commissioner Barber.
Here.
Chairman Mott.
Here. Next up, we have the approval of the minutes.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Haskell, or somebody over here. Yeah. Oh, okay.
We have to do the agenda.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, there are two amendments to the agenda. You've got item 9, adding the 24-25 audit update. We have Nate Balderman here from Raymond to present his team's work on the budget. And then second, under new business, item 16 is a resolution for the county to develop a letter of commitment for Waverly schools so they can apply for a grant to fund a school resource officer.
Move the agenda as amended.
Moved by Commissioner Toomey, supported by Commissioner Haskell. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now we have the approval of the minutes.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner over here Shaver. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Then we have one piece of communication. We have, where is it? So it's a resolution from County of Montmorency, and it's a resolution to support Bill 5152 and 5153 to revise the Judicature of Act of 1961 to provide protections for homeowners during mortgage foreclosure proceedings. All right, next up, we have the retirement recognition resolutions. First up, Gene Morton. Would you meet me at the podium, please?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good to see you.
Okay.
All right. Eaton County Board of Commissioners, Resolution of Appreciation for Gene Morton, Eaton County Canvasser, April 15th, 2026. Whereas Eaton County wishes to express gratitude for Gene Morton's 14 years of service as a member of the Eaton County Board of Canvassers. And whereas Gene provided dedicated and honorable service to the residents of Eaton County as a member of the Eaton County Board of Canvassers from 2011 through 2025. And whereas Gene provided dedicated and honorable service to the residents of Eaton Township as the Eaton Township Clerk and as Deputy Township Clerk for a combined 35 years. It's a long time.
Yeah, and I'm only 39.
Oh, wow. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize and thank Jean for her years of exceptional service to Eaton County. And be it further resolved that this resolution of appreciation and support be duly recorded and attached to the permanent records of the county on this 18th day of the month of March in the year 2026. Thank you. Thank you for
you.
your service.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Representative Angela Whitwer has a resolution.
You got something for?
I do.
My word.
I'm really happy to be here with you. I've watched you over the years. You're a great person.
Thank you.
So I have a tribute from the state of Michigan, and it says, "Let it be known that it is with deep appreciation for the hard work, dedication, and professionalism that Jean Morton has put forth on behalf of the people of Eaton County that we offer this expression of our thanks and best wishes in retirement. As the people of Eaton County recognize the loyalty and devotion to public service of this conscientious individual, we add our sentiment of gratitude for a job well done." In 35 years of service to the people of Eaton County as Eaton Township Clerk, Deputy Township Clerk, and as Eaton County Canvasser, Jean Morton has been working as a public servant, I'm sorry, I can barely read this, my eyes are so bad, in the public arena during an era of great change. As Jean Martin well knows, financial pressures and changing expectations have combined to make the recent past challenging time to work in local government. With the personal sense of duty that Jean brings to work each day, however, she has been able to meet this challenge with enthusiasm and genuine interest in efficiency and public service. This has been deeply appreciated both by the citizens and organizations in Eaton County. They have benefited directly from Jean Morton's work, as well as other public servants who have witnessed her example. So, and then it goes on to say a few other things, and then it says, in special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to join with the citizens of Eaton County in saluting Jean Morton in acknowledgement of her 35 outstanding years in public service. May she enjoy the happiness of retirement. And it's signed by your state representative, me, Angela Whitwer, your state senator, Sarah Anthony, our lieutenant governor, Garland Gilchrist, and our governor, Gretchen Whitmer.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Got it?
I'm sorry, Jean, I have just a quick thing to say. I promise I'll be super quick.
No, that's okay.
Okay, just really quick. I just want to say how happy I am to celebrate Jean tonight because of her 35 years of being a critical part of our election community. You've served with integrity and commitment, both as township clerk and county canvasser. You've ensured that our elections were accurate and trustworthy. It was your quietness, your quiet strength and kindness that have made a lasting impact on all of us. So thank you for your service and your friendship. Your legacy will endure well past any election cycle.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Diana. You
You're
were
welcome.
such a sweetheart. Thank you.
I want this.
Reminded me about the picture.
Snuck on this side.
Oh, this is.
I think I bent it. All right, Eaton County Board of Commissioners, resolution of appreciation for Diana Bosworth, County Clerk and Register of Deeds, April 15th, 2026. Whereas Diana Bosworth will be retiring from Eaton County on April 30th, 2026, after more than 32 years of service. Well, you're young, too. And whereas Diana worked in multiple roles and departments within the county and served for 3 terms as the elected county clerk and register of deeds from January 1st, 2013 until retirement, and whereas Diana has provided dedicated and honorable service to the residents and employees of Eaton County. And whereas Eaton County Board of Commissioners seeks to recognize and express appreciation for Diana's years of public service. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners expresses its sincere gratitude for the years of exceptional service Diana to Eaton County, and be it further resolved that the resolution of appreciation and support be duly recorded and attached to the permanent records of the county on this 15th day of the month of April in the year 2026.
I should have borrowed Jim Mott's glasses for this, though. First, before I read this state tribute for you, I want to thank you for everything that you do for our county, for all of our elected officials. Watching you you've been an actual great mentor for me on how to be a fair and hardworking and good person for the people, and I appreciate you. So this is a tribute for Diana Bosworth. Let it be known that it is with deep appreciation for the hard work, dedication, and professionalism that Diana Bosworth has put forth on behalf of the people of Eaton County that we offer this expression of our thanks and best wishes in retirement. As the people of Eaton County recognize the loyalty and devotion to public service of this conscientious individual, we add our sentiments of gratitude for a job well done. In her 13 years to the people of Eaton County as county clerk, Diana Bosworth has been working in the public arena during an era of great change, and it's very similar to the last one I read. Diana is well known she has put up with financial pressures, changing expectations, and it has combined to make the recent past challenging. However, she has been able to meet these challenges with enthusiasm and a genuine interest in efficiency in public service. All told, Diana retires with over 34 years of public service under her belt, including nearly a decade working in the Controller's Office of Eaton County and for the last 13 years as our county clerk. This has been deeply appreciated both by the citizens and organizations in Eaton County that have benefited directly from Diana Bosworth's work, as well as other public servants who have witnessed this fine example. There can be little doubt that the record of Diana Bosworth in her responsibilities as county clerk over this past decade will continue to reap rewards for the people of Eaton County. We offer our thanks on this personal milestone. In special tribute, therefore, this document is signed and dedicated to join with the citizens of Eaton County in saluting Diana Bosworth in acknowledgement of her 34 outstanding years in public service. May she enjoy this happiest of retirements. And it's signed by me, by our Senator Sarah Anthony, by our Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and by our Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I can't look at her. My name is Kim Morris. I have been working with Diana, and I am your newly appointed county clerk. But before we get to that, I wanted to tell a history of how I got here today, especially because the 3 ladies that got me here are in this room. Kylie. Back in 2012, this is Diana's daughter, Kylie. We were working in a dental office, and she told me about there was this opening in the county clerk's office, and I jumped at the chance. It was a temporary, full-time position, and I wanted to come and work at Eaton County. I remember Fran Fuller, who was your county clerk at that time, gave me that interview, And she made sure that I realized that it was just temporary. I was overqualified. Do I really want this job? And there was no doubt in my mind. I said yes. I don't think that was verbatim, but that's pretty much the story we joke about. And working with Diana and Fran in just the year in 2012, from May till November, realized my passion and love for working here and in elections. So because of those three, I'm here and I'm able to stand in front of you and wish Diana a beautiful retirement, and she deserves all of the best. So thank you to the three. Sorry to put you all on the spot, but you're all here in this room, and I appreciate all of you. Diana, thank you for your decades of service to Eaton County and for the many years I've had the privilege of working and learning alongside you. You've shown me that this role is about more than process. It's about integrity and doing things the right way every time. The standard you set is one I will carry forward. I am committed to continuing the work with the same professionalism and dedication to the public. While I will miss seeing you every day, please know that this office is ready for what comes next, thanks to you and your guidance. I am so grateful to call you not just a mentor, but a friend, a best friend. Congratulations on your truly well-earned retirement. Thank you.
Wow, this is overwhelming. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Representative Whitwer and Chair Mott. I just want to say how grateful I am for the trust this community has put into me, placed on me over the last several years. My decision to leave did not come lightly, to step away, but I very much look forward to spending the rest of the time with my lovely family. A lot of them are here. And especially my amazing and busy grandsons. They're going to keep me busy. But I can leave here with full confidence because the staff that I leave behind is incredible. They are just wonderful. They will continue to serve the county with excellence and dedication. And it has been my pleasure and my privilege to work with all of you, each and every one. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners, all of my colleagues, and my wonderful friends for your support over all the years. It means more than I can express. And thanks to my predecessor, Fran Fuller, because without her, I would not be here. Thanks for her support. I'm also very confident that Kim Morris, your next clerk, will be outstanding. Her experience and commitment to public service makes her exceptional, and we are lucky to have her. So Kim, I'm so proud of you and excited to see all that you'll accomplish here. Behind you. Go that way. And finally, to the people of Eaton County, I just want to thank you for allowing me to serve all these years as your county clerk and register of deeds. I'm deeply grateful. Thank you.
All right. I have one more resolution to read, and I'm going to read that one, and then I was kindly reminded, thank you, Commissioner Haskell, that we have to move these, so. All right, this is a resolution for Sherry Patton. Whereas Sherry Patton retired from Eaton County on March 27th, 2026, and whereas Sherry began her employment on January 11th, 1999, and is retiring as the probate register with more than 27 years of service. And whereas Sherry provided dedicated and honorable service to the residents and employees of Eaton County. And whereas the Eaton County Board of Commissioners seeks to recognize and express appreciation for Sherry's years of public service. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners expresses its sincere gratitude for the years of exceptional service Sherry provided to Eaton County. And be it further resolved that this resolution of appreciation and support be duly recorded and attached to the permanent records of the county on this 15th day of the month of April in the year 2026. Can I get a motion to move these resolutions? Moved by Commissioner Haskell, supported by Commissioner Arndt. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. All right, that brings us to our first limited public comment. Anyone that would like to address the board, please approach the podium, and if you can keep it to 3 minutes, well, exceptions. But
Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. I would just like to bring your attention to a few things that's been on my mind, and it's been on my heart now for law enforcement for 39 years. There's two important events that's coming up next month, and I want you to be aware of those. I think, Ben, you've addressed them already and some of the resolutions already, but I'd like to reiterate that. First, National Police Week, which is May 11th through the 17th. We honor the men and women in law enforcement who serve our communities every day with professionalism, integrity, and courage. It is also a time to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. I am continually grateful for their commitment to protecting others, often at great personal risk. Second, Correctional Officers Week, May 3rd through the 9th, recognizes a group that often works behind the scenes but plays a critical role in our justice system. Our corrections deputies maintain safety and order within our facility, manage complex and sometimes volatile situations, and ensure and secure the humane custody of those entrusted to us. I appreciate the patience, resilience, and professionalism they bring to this difficult work every day. In recognition of both weeks, myself and the undersheriff will be hosting a cookout. We've done this now for 13 years. At no expense to the county. Undersheriff and I pay for it. Jerry will be sending out invitations and letting you know the days and the times if you'd like to join us. Corrections Week will be over at the Sheriff's Office training room where we'll do the cook-off. The Police Week cook-off will be up in Delta, and we will do those 2 days as well. Make sure we get both shifts, days and nights, and take care of everybody. Both of these groups represent the backbone of public safety in our county. Whether on the road or inside our correctional facility, they face challenges that most people never see, and I am proud of the work they do and the dedication they show. On behalf of the Sheriff's Office, I ask that we take a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the service, sacrifice, and commitment of the law enforcement officers and correction personnel. You know, I've been doing this a long time, being in law enforcement. See many things, some things I don't want to ever remember, but they do come back, flashback of memories. It's a tough job. I've worked both sides. I've worked correction, I also worked the road. We all make sacrifices. I think law enforcement is one of those jobs where you make sacrifices. I mean, there was days that I was out on the street when I was undercover. Didn't see my family for days. So I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Hope to see you at the cookout.
Okay. Thank you, Sheriff. Is there anyone else?
Good evening, Commissioners. Mark Jorgensen from the thriving metropolis of Vermontville. First question is, everybody like chicken here? Yeah, chicken's good. I am the president of the Vermontville Lions Club. I also happen to be chairperson of the Chicken Dinner project that we run every year. Obviously, the Vermontville Lions are a not-for-profit organization, right? We don't make money. We give back to community. Hearing aids, glasses, starting up a new project this year. It's called Earth to Table out just west of town. If anybody's heard of Hickey Farms, they've given us some property out there. We're planting vegetables, and we're going to supply that to the Vermontville Food Pantry, as well as any leftover to the Helping Hands here in Charlotte and also in Nashville. Totally not for profit. The members of the Vermontville Lions Club actually pay dues. So if you want to volunteer to help and to serve the community, you pay dues to do that. Being Surf Festival is less than 2 weeks away now. Back in March, I went out to the website, Barry Eaton County Health Department website, said, I need a temporary food license. Looked it up online, have the documentation here. I'm gonna leave this with Commissioner Shaver when I leave. Looked it up, filled out a temporary food permit, looked at the rates, not for profit, $153 for a temporary food license. To give you some kind of idea, like 10 years ago, a temporary food license was like $65. In 2019, it went to 142. It stayed there until 2023. 2023, it went to 146. Last year, we paid 153. I did this, I've done that during this year, been the chairman, did the temporary food license. So this year, of course, when I went out there to the website, said it was $153. I said, I'm not surprised, that's fine. Wrote the check, came into the health department with the completed temporary food license permit. And I said, here, with a check, right? And we plan on these costs. So I gave it to the gal there. I'm not gonna bring any names up.
You need to wrap it up if you could, please. Got 3 minutes.
Okay. Gave it to the gal, and she said, you're $74 short. It's $227. You owe us another $74. I said, I got this price off the web. And she, I'm not gonna say verbatim, but she basically was, I don't care where you got it. It's $224, or $227. So I said, how did this happen? She said, we just suggest the price, the commissioners approve it. You don't like it, go talk to the commissioners. I'm like, it's not that I don't like it, but a 50% increase is quite a bit. Looking into it more, Berry County charges less, I believe less than $170 for theirs. So I don't know what we're doing in Eaton County, but to try to make up and be fiscally responsible and charge nonprofit organizations more money, I don't know. I can go to sleep at night. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Zach Story. I'm a nearly lifelong resident of Charlotte. I'm the current chair of the Charlotte Parks Advisory Board. I come before county officials today to speak about Lincoln Park in the city of Charlotte. Since the park's inception, so for over 2 decades, Lincoln Park has struggled with drainage issues along the Ames Drain. The Ames Drain runs along the railroad tracks at the eastern edge of Lincoln Park. Last November, the Drain Commission hired a contractor to begin work on the Ames Drain. The contractor came in and removed well over 100 trees along the eastern edge of the park. The work is not yet completed as of today. I've been told the work will be completed when things dry up, but in the meantime, we have a huge problem. The park is still flooding, and perhaps flooding worse than before. I have several questions regarding this project, and I think it's my job as the Parks Chair of Charlotte to ask these questions. When will the work be completed? How much does it cost? And more importantly, who is paying for this project? City residents? Some city residents? Or all of us in the city? Work on this project, in my opinion, shouldn't have even been started in November if the project wasn't to be completed in one go at it. Now, without all of these trees, we still have a major flooding issue in the park. The park is uglier, louder, and no more functional than it was before the work commenced. I think the Drain Commission has done the city a huge disservice by starting something in November and not finishing the job at that time. Why was there not any foresight into how much water the drain would have to handle come spring? Why is a county drain commission in charge of anything in the city in the first place? Drain commissions need reform at the state level. So again, I ask, who is paying for this project? And when can the good people of Charlotte expect this project to be completed? I also question whether this project should even be completed at all. The last thing Charlotte residents need is a drain assessment for a drain that continues to flood our park. I've seen some things over the last few years about residents in townships receiving large drain assessments to the tune of $40,000 to $60,000. My goal, speaking on this project, is to bring awareness to how the Drain Commission is affecting residents in common areas in the county. State laws regarding drain commissions need reform. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else?
My name is Douglas Norton. I live on 5540 Elm Highway in Olivet. It is been zoned as agricultural prevention. And the county has allowed somebody to come in there and take over the barn and start selling auto parts out of it. And according to the law, and I read it all twice to make sure, that's illegal. And I'd like to know why nobody has bothered to do anything about it. It also sits right between two watersheds, and the county drain commissioner won't even do anything about it. He's selling used auto parts. That oil out of them parts are leaking right down into your drains. So I'd like to have somebody do something about it. And the noise is just extremely loud at 11 o'clock at night because they're running their forklift and loading parts, so nobody can see them. Well, I'm done. I mean, I've said my piece, so I'm hoping somebody does something. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else? All right, seeing none, we will move on to next up. We've got our 24-25 audit update with Nathan Boulderman from Reman. Nathan.
Good evening. Thank you for your time tonight. I met with Ways and Means last week, went over in quite a bit of detail over the report. Tonight, I just want to give a kind of a summary of the overall audit results and answer any questions that you might have. For this year's audit, we did issue the financial statements on March 24th. That was a week ahead of the state deadline, so we met the deadline required by the state of Michigan. Included in your audit is a financial audit, which is, and I'm not going to go over it tonight, but this large 200-plus page document, and we issued an unmodified or a clean opinion. That's what you're looking for when you get a financial statement audit. As a part of that audit, just for awareness, we issue what the county itself, which is considered to be the primary government, and then there's several different component units that are included in that audit as well. They're legally separate entities, but have been determined to be by management considered to be component units. And those include the Road Commission, which is separately audited. We do not perform that audit. We make reference to that audit. The Board of Public Works, the drainage districts, the District Health Department, and the Land Bank. I bring that out because as a part of that audit, those determinations are made by management. There's different criteria that go through each of those. We talked a little bit about it at Ways and Means. A couple of those are included when you go through the criteria and talk about the criteria for whether or not something is included in the financial reporting entity of the county. There are some that all of the kind of the checklist type things it does not meet, but there is in the standards the allowance for those that are considered to be misleading to exclude, and they're included because of that. One of those is actually the drainage districts. The way that they are set up, the state law that governs them, all of that has over the years, it does not meet all of the different criteria, and traditionally, that's been a management decision to include. Technically, the state of Michigan also had guidance for years that said it must be included as a component unit. That changed a couple of years ago, so it really became more of a at discretion, but the county is elected on those to continue to include those in the financial reporting entity. The district health department is also one that we've had additional discussions over the years on whether or not to include that over the last couple of years. The reason really on that one for misleading to exclude has been the treasury function that Eaton County has, but really when you go through the criteria, because the number of board members that are appointed, those types of things are even between the two counties, that it doesn't technically meet the criteria where you would have to. But again, you're completely within your means and the abilities to include those. So just wanted to point that out. Those are ongoing discussions that, it's been included this year, but it is something that's being evaluated and discussed by the county. And we've had discussions really over the last couple of years especially. So that's the financial audit and what was encompassed in the financial audit this year. We also conducted what's called the single audit and issued a separate report on that. That includes any findings that are on the financial statements. We did have one material weakness that was noted that we discussed with Ways and Means. And then we also had a federal awards finding on one of the programs as well. So you did have, so on that single audit, we go through a process where we risk assess and test different programs. And we tested 3 different programs this year, including child support enforcement, which is one that if you go back 5 years, it was one that we tested every year because it was the largest, it was the largest program that the county had, and we couldn't get the coverage we needed without it. And then 2 other health department programs that we included as well. 2 of those we issued unmodified opinions on, and then one is what's called a qualified program because of the finding that was included. And then finally, we do issue a separate management letter that includes just various different communications that were required under standards to include. They're pretty typical communications, including things like significant estimates, significant changes in accounting policies, implementation of new standards. You did have one new standard related compensated absences that had to be implemented this year. So that was it. In conclusion, I would like to say, I mean, it was a big effort this year to get the audit done. I want to thank Melissa. I feel like in a lot of ways, I mean, it was an effort for the whole county, but she has a very heavy lift that she has in getting that done, and appreciate all the efforts that she had. I know that it was I think it's safe to say, it was a very stressful time for her, but we appreciate just the way she dug in and made sure that everything was done. It wasn't, she was kind of off on her own this year with some of the changes that were happening. And we're very thankful for the work that she did and the support that Ben had and the rest of the county in making sure that things got done. And again, we met the deadline. We were actually a week ahead of time, which is our goal. So happy to answer any questions that you have, but again, I appreciate just the time tonight and the work that we have with the county.
Are there any questions for Nathan? You got anything, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just add, within Eaton County, we thank you for the work that you put forward on this and for our residents and such too. We do annual audits every single year. I think it's an important function of a financial entity like the county. We're stewards of your tax dollars, and part of that is having our books open and having this dialogue. And so thank you for the role that you play in us being able to open the books and show the people this is what we're doing with what you're entrusting us. In terms of our look forward from here, so we recognize and agree with recommendations from the auditors. So we are working on revising our year-end procedures just to make them more rigorous for financial accounts and doing like reconciliations on a more frequent basis, just based on the feedback we got. Part of that procedure was we asked to create a finance and budget manager, which you have all approved. That goes to adding capacity to help us on the front end, just have that work in line in a way that makes it easier for these audits to be hopefully a little bit less stressful and also have all of our ducks in a row. And then any of the things that occurred, like any of the errors, they were not intentional. They don't represent intentional errors within operations. So we appreciate the feedback, and our goal is to take that and improve things as we move forward. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to echo your sentiments you said about Melissa. We're so thankful for her and all the work has done, and it was quite a load that was on her shoulders, and we really appreciate you, Melissa. So thank you very much for all the work you did in getting this done. So, yeah, Logan.
Really quick, want to add, if anybody watching this, any residents, right on the eatoncounty.org homepage, there's a button that says financial statements. You can go through all past audits within the archive and this current audit. We go through this every year.
Good, thank you for that information. Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, thanks, Logan. I was trying to figure out how to put that into context because after we looked at our tax limitation proposals, one thing you always heard everywhere you went was like, who's auditing these guys? Where's the audit? Where can we see where everything's done? Like, well, there it is on our home page. Thanks, Logan.
Yep. Any other questions, comments? All right. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you.
All right, next, we're going to move on to committee reports and resolutions. And first up, we have Public Works and Human Services with Commissioner Holmes. Sorry, Commissioner Barber.
I would say thank you, Chair. However, this is becoming a pattern. 3 months in a row.
Yeah.
3 months in a row. It's Commissioner Barber, that's why it's down there.
Okay.
Okay,
Update.
all right. Okay, so I only have one action item for tonight. That's the resolution to approve construction code body camera wear policy, and I would move that.
Moved by Commissioner Barber, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Any questions, comments?
Only comment, we made some slight alterations based on feedback from legal counsel, but they're in blue, so they're right there. So that's it.
All right, thank you, Ben. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now, Public Safety with Commissioner Holmes.
Good evening. We had our monthly meeting on April 9th. We heard monthly staff reports. We have 3 action items, 2 introduced by Commissioner Shaver, 1 by Commissioner Haskell. I'd ask if they would like to speak to those or introduce the resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner Holmes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The first of these, the sheriff referenced, it's a resolution that I was pleased to draft and present through committee, and I'll present to you today. It's a resolution to declare May 10th through the 16th as Police Week here in Eaton County, Michigan. This is something that has been happening in our nation since 1962. It was started by President John F. Kennedy, and it was also put into action by a joint resolution of Congress. This recognizes 700,000 law enforcement officers here in the state, in the United States, as well as 17,000 here in Michigan. It recognizes all of our deputies as well as the rest of our law enforcement officers here in Eaton County, and especially recognizes those that have given their lives in the line of duty and the countless more that have been assaulted in their service. We're thankful for our law enforcement officers. So, Mr. Chair, I would move this resolution.
Or
Moved by Commissioner Shaver, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
The second resolution that I was pleased to draft and present through committee was a resolution that recognizes correctional officers and Correctional Officer Appreciation Week here in Eaton County, May 3rd through the 9th. This is something that was established in 1984 by President Ronald Reagan and established by a joint resolution of Congress in that same year. This recognizes more than 400,000 nationally, corrections officers and people that work within the correction system. And it recognizes the sacrifice that they make on a daily basis to help make our communities safe and care for each one of us. So I would move this, Mr. Chair, as well.
support?
Moved by Commissioner Shaver, supported by Commissioner Arndt. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Haskell.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. The third resolution that we adopted in public safety that we're addressing tonight, this is very similar to something we passed roughly 3 years ago after the shooting at the MSU campus. It recognizes the need to move 911 dispatchers from a administrative or secretarial category to a first responder category. We're bringing it forward again today because our congressional delegation has made some progress, especially in the Senate, with Senate Bill 725, the Enhancing First Response Act. It is currently stuck in the House, that is HR 637, the 911 Saves Act. So I'm hoping that we can get another unanimous support to get our 911 operators classified as first responders. And I'm hoping that when this passes, we can convince staff to pass this along to our congressional delegation and the President of the United States. And I'd move this resolution.
Support. Moved by Commissioner Haskell, supported by Commissioner Shaver. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
That concludes public safety report.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Holmes. And I'll just make a comment that I think everyone knows that my slight displeasure with non-business resolutions. However, with ones like these, I think it's a good thing when we honor people that work here and the dedication they have. So thank you, guys. All right, next up, we have Ways and Means with Commissioner DeRosa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, Ways and Means Committee met last Friday, April 10th. We had a lengthy meeting, but we got a lot accomplished. As you'll see, we have 18 items on the report. So beginning with item number 1, as was presented by Nathan with Raymond, we have a resolution to accept the September 30th, 2025 Eaton County audit, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. All those are, any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item number 2, resolution to acknowledge and authorize administration to work with the Barry Eaton District Health Department to separate annual audits, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Arndt. Any questions or comments? Did you want to say anything about this, Ben? Or was it Shaver? Second? Okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, we had good discussion about this at Ways and Means. This is a mutual decision between both Eaton County and the Health Department, namely, based on an internal review and concurrence together. And the discussions around this it's been advantageous and worked to just have them as a direct component unit where their financials were a part of our audit. But as time has gone on, we're very complex organizations, and the rules and the programs that we run and the funding opportunities that we have, have become a little more complicated than I think we used to be. COVID added a whole nother layer on that. So in terms of how to present those in the future, our proposal will be to move forward, help them get their own audit, provide them technical expertise as they transition to that function, but then they will be able to have better control over who they're hiring, and then also if they have disagreements with the auditors, they can directly address them with the audit team. Everybody's on board. This would just give us the latitude to, one, notify the health department's board and work with facilitating the transition.
Yeah, thank you. Are there any other comments or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item 3, resolution to approve Protecting Local Government Retirement and Benefits Act application for waiver, and I would move this resolution.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Whitaker. Any comments, questions?
This is an annual process that we have to go through each year under PA 202, where we evaluate the funding level of our long-term liabilities. This year with our MERS pension, we are under 60%, so that means that we have to request a waiver and submit a plan of action of what we are doing to remedy that situation. This is meant to help communities have open discussions with the state if they go under the 60% threshold. Our last actual valuation was at 60%. However, when the audit is done, they don't use the same smoothing methodology as our auditors. So that's what's based on the triggering here, why our valuation for MERS is 2% different. The good news is prior to this, we took a lot of action. So we adjusted how we do police services contracts, which led to a $3 million one-time investment into our MERS unfunded liability with our largest group that had the largest unfunded, which was the command group, plus an additional $1 million that we were able to make. Plus those contracts include an annual commitment to putting a third of the admin revenue that we collect, so 5% of the value of that contract, into the unfunded liability. Those short-term and long-term, I imagine will put us well over 60, but the hope is we've already took those steps without having to be told by the state of Michigan to do it. You all identified that we had budget problems and we needed to take action, and that was part of your plan. That's what we're reporting to the state. And then the other thing that we had done, because we did those investments up front, we were able to add 5 years to the amortization schedule, which means that it will reduce the payment annually to give that extra time to get funded to 100%. However, our commitment is still to continue to attack that unfunded liability and not just take the reprieve, because the long-term strategy for us is get better funded, reduce the personnel costs, make it easier to restore services and for people to do business with Eaton County.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what that new valuation will look like, so. Yeah, Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I'm happy that you pointed out that this does not include all the hard work and investment we put into it. When will we see the evaluation change? I think you said, was it June?
Probably June, yep. And for members of the public too, the way those valuations work, they're a year behind. So the good work we do today from a budget standpoint, we won't recognize until the following fiscal year. But the first recognition of that will be the October 1st, 2027 or 26-27 budget. So coming into it in June, you'll see what that is, and we will integrate those numbers into next year's budget. And then all the additional payments we make from there will then have a positive impact on the upcoming budget from there.
Fantastic, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Shaver?
I think it's just a good reminder for us that we're moving in the right direction. These are calculated from the year previous. I understand that, but as we're going into budget season here again, austere measures are necessary to continue to right the ship, so to speak, of the county. And I know that that's what the public's counting on us for. And I just think it's good publicly for them to hear that that's one of our main goals, is attacking that unfunded liability relentlessly until we see those scales tip and move in a favorable direction. That's going to, I had somebody ask me if I think that's ever going to happen. It's going to happen, but it depends on how hard we work, how quickly we get there, and I believe many of us are committed to that. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Pearl Wright.
So like, Controller Ben, are we looking at trying to get so that we're not always bumping along then? Do we have any studies, like that would get us up there like 65%, so we're not always just kind of right at the edge? You know, how many years?
I mean, we will definitely get there. So what I'm hoping or looking forward to is getting this year's valuation and then trying to quantify, you know, we put X number of dollars in last year. What was the percentage jump? And keeping in mind market performance has an impact on how a fund performs, right? So it's not just our contributions. Some things are out of our control. But even in a downturn, you would still always be in a better position putting what you can into it so that you're getting ahead. But once we get those, then I can try to do estimates so that you get a sense for every $1 million you put in.
Yeah,
This is the estimate of what you can feasibly expect to return, right? So then you can start thinking in terms of if we do $1 million and that can say maybe be a 1.2 reduction in this pension group's cost, how much does that equate to in a reduction in the budget and savings elsewhere, right? So yeah, we'll have more discussion on that coming up in June when we present the next valuation.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 4 is a fee waiver request change of conditions, and I would move this request.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any questions or comments? Commissioner Dewey?
Yeah, could you walk through this?
Yeah, I mean, Brandy's here actually, so she can walk you through it.
Good evening, Commissioners. This request is specifically for the Parks Department. They are going for a change of conditions to get their entire strategic plan approved by way of planning and zoning under Eaton County and Eaton Township. In having discussions with the Parks Director, we don't see the value in changing funds from one internal department to another internal department. The application fee is $800.
Thank you. I remember discussing this with you in committee. I didn't see a document in here, so I wasn't 100% sure what it was. So, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Any other questions, comments?
You can stick around.
All right. Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 5, and I'm sure we're going to ask Brandy about this one also. Resolution to amend funding agreement for opioid settlement funds with 56th Adult Drug Court, and I would move this resolution.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Any questions or comments? You want to give an explanation?
Yes, I'm actually very excited about this resolution. This would be our first and only contract that was granted through our opioid settlement program. In being such, the courts got, with the GL and the accounting and whatnot, they got off to a late start of actually spending their $65,000 that was awarded to them. They still have a fund balance of $40,000 approximately left. And we didn't know what we didn't know then. And moving forward, service contracts like this, we'd like them to be 2-year service contracts. This was only granted for 1 year. It expires today. It would be our desire to expire it for an entire year.
Any other questions? Commissioner Whitaker?
I'm just curious why this is under Brandy's purview, an opioid settlement versus something more zoning.
Yeah, so she's actually promoted into the controller's office. So before Claudine became the intergovernmental affairs director, she was the community development and I'm trying to remember. Anyway, so when we promoted her to deputy rather than have her bring her current job title with her. We separated it out. And so Brandy will be the Community Development and Services Administrator. So she will be managing veterans, she'll be managing community development, housing, and then also the opioids. So this is kind of a trial of welcome. Opioids, we have settlement funds for those that don't know. There's been litigation ongoing for probably the better part of 8 years, maybe longer. And each of those settlement awards have been structured as such that states and communities like counties have the opportunity to get those settlement dollars. You have to use them in which the litigation and the judges ruled that they could be used. The county has a sum of money that we're working on distributing through a grant program. Having Brandy being able to focus on that and the other avenues will be really helpful for our office and for community partners that are looking to help develop programming for folks that are struggling with substance abuse.
Well, I understand that part. I was just, I didn't know that Brandy, somehow I missed that she had that job change. And so welcome, I'm glad you're in that role.
Thank you. I'm very
Be good at it.
proud of the role.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I'm glad you brought that up, Commissioner, because I publicly want to thank you for agreeing to take on this role. With all your years of experience, I think it's going to help the public immensely. So thank you. So we still have a vote, right? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item number 6, which I think will be of interest to many people, the resolution to authorize application for bank intercounty state grant funding, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Whitaker. Any questions or comments on this?
Give a quick rundown
Yes.
and then see if there's any questions. If Representative Whitwer was still here, I would like to thank her. So she has been a great partner at the state level trying to advocate for infrastructure dollars coming to Eaton County. Namely, the bank drain, we're all familiar, was a $60 million project. We were able to get $5 million before it went out to bond to help reduce that cost. This grant is through Eagle, Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy State Division. And it's for stormwater infrastructure projects specifically, which our project qualifies for. The 2.5 would be allocated to construction expenses for that project. And what that would mean, then the drainage district will use that money to help pay for the remaining, I think it's at the remaining balance that's due there. That will at some point translate over to reduction for everybody that's in that district as the cost of that project comes down. So the drainage district will have to figure out what that looks like. We've got a request for them to come and do a presentation later once they've been able to figure out how that looks. But this will be a construction, $2.5 million for construction costs of that project.
Yeah, I want to reiterate that Angela, Representative Whitwer's put in a lot of time and effort to get some money for that project, and also, even though the project is underway, we have not stopped as a county and controller staff, Logan specifically, still looking for money for that project, and we'll continue to do that as well. And that's going to be the practice going forward for all drain projects. Obviously, this one was a big project that needs some help, but they all do, really. So it's just kind of a practice that we're going to be continuing to look for funds. So just want to put that out there. Absolutely. Any other comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item number 7, resolution to approve jail agreement for medical psychiatric services, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Shaver. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 8, resolution to approve CMH agreement with the Eaton County Jail for Services, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Pearlwright. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 9, resolution to submit to a vote and I will combine this item 10, but resolution to submit to a vote the electorate for renewal and restoration of the juvenile millage, and also item 10, resolution to submit to a vote of the electorate for renewal and restoration of the millage for the comprehensive emergency telephone services, and I would move these two resolutions.
Support.
So it was mentioned we should do roll call, so we probably shouldn't move these as a slate, just so that we record who voted on what.
And I will move resolution for item 9, submit to a vote for the electorate for renewal and restoration of the juvenile millage.
Support. You can have it.
Okay. Moved by Commissioner Drosha. Must be the side of my earring or something, I don't know. And supported by Commissioner Arndt. Can we have a roll call, please, Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Shaver,
Yes.
Commissioner Arndt. Commissioner Peak,
Yes.
Commissioner Haskell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearl Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Mudry,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones,
Yes.
Commissioner Drosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Toomey,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes,
Yes.
Commissioner Barber, Chairman Mott.
Yes. All right, motion carries.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 10, resolution to submit to a vote of the electorate for the renewal and restoration of the millage for the comprehensive emergency telephone services, and I would move this resolution also.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Shaver. We have a roll, or any questions or comments? Yeah. Huh?
No, it was Commissioner Shaver.
Commissioner Haskell?
Yeah, thank you. Something I maybe should have mentioned in the last millage piece here too, but we had a lot of good discussion in public safety and Ways and Means about the investment that these make towards our future as well. So, if we're able to divert a juvenile from general population and, lower the recidivism rate, the savings that comes back to the community is hard to quantify, but very important. So, thank you.
Commissioner Pearl Wright?
I would like to thank probably our communications director, Logan Bailey. I want you all to know that at 10:46 this morning, it was already on both of these were on the WILX website. So we're beginning to educate our public now for the need for both of these to be renewed.
Commissioner Shaver?
A lot of our voters don't like new taxes, and I just wanted to reference that these aren't new taxes, that these are renewals that support critical services within the county that would create a massive, almost incalculable hardship on local governments as well as the county budget should they not pass. And it would be a drastic reduction in services on both of them. The dollars that the juvenile justice millage provides are leveraged by getting us, Controller, almost 75% return on that with
Yep.
100%?
No, sorry. You are correct.
Yeah, okay.
75%.
Okay, I got you.
Very-
We're talking percents. I'm
very
100% right.
poor phrasing on
but
my
it's a-
part, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a massive opportunity to be able to provide services that are necessary in our county here. If we don't provide them here, we're still on the hook to provide them. And it's a significant daily cost, somewhere in the neighborhood of $350 to $1,200 a day to outsource that service. And same with 911. We all want help when we need it, and that's something that would fall back onto local units if the voters decided to not renew that, and it's gonna cost a significant amount more if that was done any other way. And we have an incredible dispatch service here in the county right now. So I'll be traveling around in my district with others and sharing about this as well as many others. But if you have questions, I'm saying this to the public, if you have questions, ask them. Don't assume something. These aren't new taxes. In fact, you know, there's taxes that are actually rolling off, and maybe you want to discuss that, but there's taxes that are actually rolling off. We're not going back for anything more as a board, but we are actually committed to seeing those less. So thank you, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Whitaker.
I just wanted to point out that this will be on the ballot in August.
Yes.
So this is not in November, but this will be an August election.
Good point, good point. Commissioner Arndt.
What again is the, what again is the spread on August millages and November millages?
Well, if this passes, which it should.
Ought to.
The August millages that will be on the ballot will be 911 and juvenile. The August will be road and E-Tran.
Oh, flip.
Did I flip
You
them?
got them right, just flip.
August, so 2 in August, 2 in November.
Sorry.
Say-
E-Tran and road will be November, and then juvenile and 911 will be August.
So the public
yeah, no,
safety
I-
ones will
I
be in
mean, I know,
August, and the road and transit will be in November.
Correct, yes. In my mind, I had it right. Okay. All right. I'll just add, yeah, there's, I think 0.8 mils that are gonna be coming off, the winter taxes, so I wanna keep that in mind. And then, out of those millages, the juvenile millage is the only one that we are required by the state to have. So if that doesn't pass, that's about 1.7
1.7 million.
million that will be coming out of the general budget, which means we will have to make some drastic cuts and further reduce the services to the residents of the county, so. Any other comments?
I'll just add to the chorus. I went through this in the previous one too, but just to kind of like drive home what the investment in the community is. So for the juvenile millage, the cost to the resident, and this is based on a $230,000 home that's sold today. Because of the way property taxes in Michigan work is it's called uncapped when you have that transaction that year. If you've been in your home for 20 years, your property tax is it's capped, so it would be a little bit different. We will have a calculator available in the coming weeks, maybe next month, where you can enter your actual address and see what the millage would be for your property. But the reason I make that distinction, so somebody who buys a home today at the median price is $230,000, has a taxable value of $115,000. The juvenile millage for that homeowner is $3.35 a month. It's a $40.25 investment. So that's effectively 35 cents per every $1,000 of taxable value that you have. Because this is a restore and these are existing millages, the restoration cost is 17 cents a year. As it was said, that is a boost because these dollars are match dollars, so we get 75 cents on the dollar from the state of Michigan. So the reach of these funds are significant. Our youth programs and our youth facility has a dramatic impact on the outcomes for folks. So a dynamic team that does a lot for giving these kids another opportunity and making sure they don't end up in jail and anyway, so that's that piece there. And to Shaver's point, in absence of having these facilities and having to have kids go elsewhere, it's anywhere from $350 to $1,200 a day, and the cost goes up if they have to have medical treatment or if they have any existing conditions. All of that drives up the price when they have to be housed somewhere else. So then for the central dispatch, following the similar flow, that's $109.25 a year for a property of $230K sold this year. It's $9.10 a month, and it's 95 cents per $1,000 of taxable value. Because this is a restoration, this is not a new millage, the restoration cost is 16 cents a year. What that gets you is a consolidated 911 service where all EMS, all fire, all police services in Eaton County get their orders of where to go and where the calls get all through us. The county carries the liability for that as well. We have excellent rules and procedures in place to help make sure that the care is getting there. Seconds matter in saving lives, and so our team of professionals do that. If this didn't occur and we had to have this go back to the locals, everyone would be developing these action plans in their own structures for it. And we've seen the difficulty we've had with planning and zoning as locals have had to step up to take control of that. So just a reminder, this is a renew, restore. I believe this millage has been around since 1988. So it's really been a staple of public safety infrastructure and being able to get people where they need to go for a long time.
Can you comment on, we've had some questions about why this year? Why are we doing that millage this year when it's not due up this year?
Absolutely. These do not expire until 2029. The reason we are putting them this year is because, one, these are very important and they represent significant budgetary decisions the commissioners have to make. If we were to run them in an odd year election because of Proposal 2, when they revamped the election law, they set it up to where off-year elections, the state of Michigan does not help pay for those at all. So if the county were to run an election off year, it's 100% our cost for the entire election, not just for us, for all townships and all communities. That bill is a county bill. By running it in an even year, it's part of the existing election infrastructure, so we are not paying for it. And we can have that discussion with the community. If for some reason we weren't successful, we can have that discussion in 2028 without risk of these funds lapsing from a lack of folks understanding what they provide and what the restore cost is.
Thank you for that explanation. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Logan. Roll call, please, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Shaver,
Yes.
Commissioner Arndt,
Yes.
Commissioner Peak,
Yes.
Commissioner Haskell,
Yes.
Commissioner Pearl Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Mudry,
Yes.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Drosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Toomey,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes, Commissioner Barber, Chairman Mott.
Yes.
And the only thing I would add, we do have the 2 millages rolling off, so I'll do a similar for that. So starting in 2027, so this will be the last property year in 2026 for winter taxes to have the jail millage and the medical care facility millage. Both of those were infrastructure projects for expansions at both of those facilities. They expire starting in 2027. The same calculus, 230K home, uncapped. The value of those millages is $94.12 off of the property tax a year. And that compounds with time because they will no longer be growing with rate of inflation. So that's in year one, a $94.63 difference that you see. If you subtract out these millages, if they were to pass, the net is $94.12 that people would still be saving even with the renewals. And the discussions that we've had at some of the meetings, like, is just letting folks know there's only so much we can do to relieve property taxes because we're not the schools, we're not local units. County government has a very specific set of obligations that we're to fulfill and provide to residents. But these are 2 that you've all committed to not putting back up and not putting something in their place because property owners are asking for relief. So, and the conversations we've had with some local officials too is, don't take this as an opportunity to put your millage on. People are asking for relief. So this is you all taking a step in that direction. And I think it's good to be part of the conversation. Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ben, and thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item 11, resolution to amend the Register of Deeds user fee schedule, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Christensen. Commissioner Toomey.
I just have a quick question before we vote on this tonight. I know we talked about doing a survey of all of our fee schedules. Would this be covered by that in the future when that does get done?
So what we did was in 2004, we did all county fee schedules. The only 2 fee schedules that are under evaluation right now are the soil erosion program and the construction code fee schedule. If we were to do a county-wide assessment, I believe we would include these as part of that. But currently, we don't have one
That's
out.
a way bigger cost, right?
It is.
Okay, right, okay. So that's fine then. Obviously, a lot of other counties are charging this. And I did want to clarify as well that this is still waived under the fee waiver policy if somebody does qualify for that?
Yes.
I think, and it was added for the stated purposes, and the elderly, I believe, was added at the committee as well.
Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna point out, is that I think what we're seeing on our screen here is slightly incorrect. It should say the fee would be waived for veterans, seniors, and individuals experiencing financial hardships. That was the
Amendment.
amendment that we did make, but.
Oh, it's in the resolution.
Yeah, we
not
amended the
in prompt.
resolution. This document might not have been uploaded.
Oh,
It was
okay.
carried through Ways and Means, but the resolution, I think we stated seniors, veterans in there.
Fantastic, thank you.
I knew it was in there.
Any other comments, questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 12, 2025 Equalization Report. And I would move to accept this.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Christensen.
I think Tim is on the way to the podium to address this.
Welcome, Tim, as always.
Evening. This is actually the 2026 equalization report, by the way.
Oh, yes.
The values did go up pretty good this year after reviewing all the board review values, and I appreciate all the work that my staff did to put this information together. Overall, in the agricultural class, we had a 3.65% increase. Commercial class was up 3.60%. Industrial was up 3.69%. Residential is still quite strong, 6.92%. Developmental class was flat. Total real went up 5.89, as we mentioned in the Ways and Means meeting. Personal property did go up quite a bit more than we expected. We had a couple real large industrial personal property counts, one in the city of Lansing for the battery plant, which amounted to about $65 million in taxable value. So that was causing quite a big increase in the personal property for this year, 23.01%. Also, the Amazon plant is finished now in Delta, so that one brought in quite a bit of money as well for the personal property. So we had a grand total of 6.80% increase, and that was slightly higher than last year's 6.32%. So we're still continuing to increase a little bit higher than normal the last few years, so that was pretty good news. Is there any questions about this particular report? And this is SEV values, not taxable values.
Okay. I wanted that when I read the report. Any questions or comments? See none? All right. Thanks, Tim.
Thanks, and this does need to be approved.
We've already got a motion, don't we? Yeah, that's what I thought. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item 13, we have a resolution to approve PA 116 farmland and open space development rights for resident Troy Winslow and Eaton Rapids Township, and I would approve this resolution or move it.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Shaver. Anything you want to add to that, Tim?
Yeah, we reviewed everything. This is a pretty well-known farmer in the area, Winslow. They're doing a 10-year agreement for a total of 50 acres. So, looks pretty good to go.
Any questions, comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to item number 14, resolution to approve the fiscal year 25-26 budget amendments, and I would move this resolution.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chair. On to resolution number 15. It's a resolution to adopt artificial intelligence and machine learning acquisition and use policy, AI, and I would move this resolution.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Any questions or comments? Do you want to say anything about that, Logan?
Do you want me to?
I don't know. Is there anybody would like to hear Logan's?
I would.
Comment.
And so as I stated, over the last few months, I worked with Director Daly on this, and Controller Dawson was a great help. This is really a policy that's going to need to be updated as we move forward. It's based, kind of setting the county's ethical standard on the use and acquisition of these technologies. And as this frontier grows, this policy will likely need to grow. We don't know what that's going to look like yet, but we wanted to place a waypoint for departments, give department heads a little more muscle, as well as the controller's office and the board, a little more muscle around work products, as well as the acquisition, and making sure that the human remains in the loop with everything we do here at the county.
Thank you for that update. Any questions or comments?
I was just going to add to some of the discussions that we had, and this is a new frontier for everybody, not just public sector, but private sector entities as well, you know, and my wife works in higher education. She just talks about how the difference of type of work getting submitted by students. So this is very much a reality and important for us to take this on. Some of the things that we talked about was just the importance of, even if you're going to use artificial intelligence in an organization like this, it should be purposeful and it should be in a way that doesn't jeopardize the integrity of your operations, you know. So one, we had talked about, don't use any AI systems that are of a foreign countries, and we used DeepSeek as an example. You want to make sure also that you're not putting any privileged, private, protected information into these. Like, people have to understand, you know, what you're using at home for your personal use is one thing, but when you come to the workplace, you still have the obligation to protect and serve the public in a way that's beyond reproach. And so this policy is a step forward in doing that and acknowledging that we have to integrate and find a way to deal with this in a method that meets the time. So thank you for your work on this, Logan, and Director Daly. It's going to be a lift, but we'll keep moving.
Yeah, it's like with anything with technology. I think it's, as it evolves, we have to evolve with it. And I know it's scary for some, but I use it on a daily basis on my farm operation. And I'm like, wow, this is, I could have had this, you know, used this many years ago. But yeah, it's created a little lighter load at the farm, just having that information at the ready. So any other questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 16 is a resolution to amend the grants, contracts, and donations policy, and I'd move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Drosha, supported by Commissioner Shaver. Any questions or comments? Do you want to? Yeah, Commissioner Toomey.
If admin wants to talk first, they can.
Was that you? All right.
Yep, so this is based on multiple bits of feedback we've had, because every time we bring a grant up, if it doesn't comply with the policy of allowing a 15% admin fee, then we have to do a 2/3 override. So this is with review of council and in line with the discussions that we had there, setting it up to where administration will evaluate a grant, how much demand of staff time, how it aligns with like priorities and objectives, and come and make a recommendation to you all about what that would be. So for instance, the bank $2.5 million grant that was just approved doesn't allow a de minimis 15% fee. It's allow staff time and up to 40% of the fringe benefits. We would anticipate in administering that we would probably be between 50 to 70,000 total, and that would be based on actual staff time administering that grant, right? So this policy in practice would be our recommendation. We move that so that we can try to get relief to homeowners as quickly as possible, acknowledging we won't be able to boil it down to a percentage until we actually do the work. And then in this policy, if you all wanted to override that and do something different, you can. There's still the 2/3 mechanism in there, but at least administration can bring you a recommendation of where to start.
Any other comments? Commissioner Toomey?
Yeah, I guess, so when you come to the board and you say, hey, we think that this should have a 12% admin fee for XYZ reason, is there like a way to quantify that? Are you gonna give us like are you using a rubric? Like how are you deciding this?
Yeah, so essentially to me, if it is like a full-time, full-on endeavor, 15%, that's kind of the standard, but we work our way back depending on the situation. Again, using real-life examples, the fire training center, that money that had to come to the county in order to go out to build that training facility for all the fire departments of the county. We took a 3% on that because we thought exposure-wise, length of time of reporting, so it's really on a case-by-case basis, but our goal would be to pick levels that align with the level of work that comes with it, but probably be 15, 10, and a 5, and a 3, and it will be based on the amount of work intensity the staff will have to put in to implement whatever the grant is. Those would be, I haven't laid them out in the policy, but that's the structure I'm gonna approach it with.
I think it's an improvement, so I'll be voting for it. I still don't like it generally, but that's just one. So.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say is we went years without collecting admin revenue on grant programs, some of them significant ones where the standard practice was to collect. One is the Public Defender's Office. We literally went a couple years without collecting, and that's a huge operational intake that we did. So I understand. The reason we put this forward, though, was it was important to the baseline to be, the assumption is that the county has to support the staff that support projects that we take on, and we can keep amending it, you know what I mean? Like, it's an ongoing discussion and ongoing growth, but we're in a much better position than we were in 2021.
Commissioner Purwhite, oh, I'm sorry, were you done?
And thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Purwhite.
Okay, thank you. Part of it, I'd like to mention to Commissioner Toomey, is because certain grants have a maximum that we can even charge. So we would hate to pass up some funding that we know is really viable because, you know, it has a 9%, it has a 12%, whatever, and so it was against our policy. So sometimes too, the grants need quicker turnarounds than being able to bring it to this board in full. So by turning that part also back to administration so they can move on. Money's always good, as long as we actually can afford to operate it.
Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Commissioner Toomey. I think that was a very good question to ask, and it's good for the public to hear that, so thank you for asking that question. I do believe this is a step in the right direction as well. I think we've already kind of experienced some debates in this room previously where we felt like because it said 15%, it had to be 15%. And with giving us some sort of flexibility to look at our administration, who are the experts on this, we're also telling our communities that we're striking these contracts with that they can, communicate with us and work with us in good faith. That this isn't some sort of mechanism that we're trying to pad our own general fund with grant dollars. So I do appreciate that, and thank you for the discussion here.
Yeah, thank you for that. Anybody else? All right, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 17, claims and purchases, and I would move the claims and purchases.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Haskell. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And lastly, item 18, resolution to adopt fund balance targets for fiscal year 2026 and 2027, and I would move this resolution.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner DeRosa, supported by Commissioner Pearl-Wright. Any questions, comments? Ben, do you want to give a little explanation on this?
Absolutely. Logan, if you could scroll up to the table right above. This is really part of the fundamental framework you've all put in place for how do we avoid another budget season like we just went through. And part of the discussion that Controller Sobey had prior to me being in this role was having targets and having a fund balance policy. This is a step in that direction. So today we're talking about adopting these targets, which give us as staff the framework to move forward with understanding how we're going to go into the budget. The next piece, which I'll present next month, is a suggestion of how, if there's any remaining money above the target, how that can be allocated to MERS, maybe retirees' health care or infrastructure, whatever that may be. And it's a way of thinking about budgeting differently than historically we have done. So the last year you did a 10% minimum fund balance target, where you said that 10% of our prior year expenses we will not spend. And in fact, if we spend it, we will notify the public, like, we are dipping in this year, but here's our 2-year plan for getting back above 10% as a minimum. This year, after the audit with all the positions that we had left open, our fund balance carryover as of 9/30/25 was $9,813,718. So then the discussion applying that same framework, you start from a 10% of the year expenses, which in this case is $4 million. The recommendation of administration is that you take 5% set aside in addition to the 10, so that when you go through the budget process, you have 5% to work with. Doesn't mean you need to spend it, just knowing that it's there, and then at the end of the budget, you can reinvest that either as holding a higher fund balance than 10% or into paying off the unfunded liabilities like we discussed earlier. It just gives you that flexibility through the budget to have that to work with. Doing that model, if you adopt the 15%, which was what was moved by Ways and Means, that still leaves an unrestricted fund balance of $3.6 million that I will present next month, and then we will have discussion about how to utilize those funds towards the long-term objectives of the county.
Yeah, I really like this model because I think we all agree we need to that unfunded liability needs to be spent down as quick as possible. And this also gives us the opportunity that if there's something that really needs to be addressed here at the county, say, something of the building, we can do that as well. So I really like this little cushion to be able to work with. Commissioner Toomey.
Thank you. So you're basically asking to hold 5%, as you're keeping in mind when we're going through crafting the budget, you're asking to hold 5% as an earmark for either increasing fund balance or paying down liability, correct?
It's for you all to use during the budget. So if there's like a one-time expenditure that you think is of value, but it's not something that you can commit to on an ongoing basis, this would be for commissioners to say, I think we should add this to our budget. That's what it's through the budget process. It's up to you guys how much is left at the end of it. If there's leftover, you can either apply it to the fund balance or choose to apply it to the unfunded liabilities that we'll recommend next month.
So why are we why is this not just general fund dollars?
They are.
But why are we earmarking?
You're not, so in my interpretation of government and experience, earmarking is when you set money aside for a very specific intent and purpose. This is literally a 5% additional budgetary consideration that you all can use or not use. And then at the end, you can decide to retain it. For the record, it came out in the earlier discussion. Most communities that have a fund balance policy have a 15% policy. We did not recommend that in the first year because you were cutting over $8 million out of your budget. So to cut an additional 5% in already such a devastating year, we did not think was responsible. In this sense, you can either be a community that's at 15%, or you can say, even though 15% is the goal, we're still plowing that money into the unfunded because that's how we get where we want to go. Ultimately, you all as a board have to make the decision. This is just how I'm recommending the framework because I would rather get the money to the unfunded liabilities as quickly as possible because time value of money, we want those dollars working for us. And so this allows us to keep the 15% for the discussions over the budget, but still immediately make contributions to whatever items you select next month.
So I get that it's not technically like to the letter speaking an earmark, and we can technically use it for whatever we want, but it sounds pretty clear that there are two options that you propose we do with it.
I'm going to present some next month, yeah. And they're in line with what we talked about with the fund balance policy. And if you have suggestions of how you want to use the money, that's what these committee meetings are for. As administration, it's my job to present you with what I think are the most reasonable and prudent uses of that funding. But ultimately, you are a body, a deliberative body. So if you have ideas, I look forward to hearing them next month.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Shaver.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Controller Dawson, for just addressing that the normal civil governments of similar sizes and in a less stressful situation that we've been in economically would have a 15% fund balance. I think fund balances are really important. I applaud those of you that were here that instituted that 10%. I would be one that has already advocated to get to that 15% as quickly as we can. I think this is a vehicle to get there with a little bit less certainty involved than maybe saying, let's just do 15%. This still sets that 10% threshold where we'd report to the public that we've fallen below it. But I think fiscal conservancy in this kind of way is going to be the only way that we are able to retire that those liabilities that are there that are really affecting our ability to provide the services for the taxpayers of Eaton County. So this has my complete support, and I look forward to potentially next year, solidifying that in a higher percentage towards that 15% as we continue to do the right thing. So thank you for your investment in that, Controller Dawson, and it has my full support.
Anybody else? Yeah, Commissioner Toomey.
I was supportive of putting this at 10%, and I think it is a good thing. I would just say I don't want us to be too hasty in restricting additional dollars. I mean, yes, we've made a lot of progress budgetarily, but we are still running a very tight ship, and all we're doing is locking up more money that could be spent now in the community that needs it. So I'm not going to be supportive of this.
Well, I think that's what we're doing, actually. I think the 15%, that's why it's not locked in. I mean, we could say, okay, this is 15% from here on out, but we are in uncertain times. So we're just taking it one step at a time. We want to get there. I think this is great. Going forward, this helps us try to alleviate some of the stress that future boards are going to have that I wish boards past did. So this is a step in the right direction, in my opinion, and this doesn't, in my opinion, lock us in. We could come back next year and say, yeah, we're not quite there yet. We don't have to do this, but I think we need to set a goal, and that 15% is a goal. So, Commissioner Haskell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the discussion in the room here. I think I'm supportive of this as well. I'm very hesitant about, again, rushing into a 15%. I think I mentioned during Ways and Means that, if Chad came to us and said, hey, a wall's falling in, you can fix it now or build a new one a couple years later from now, you need that 5%, right? I think before we do lock ourselves into 15%, we're going to have some pretty serious conversations with the public as well. We cut community mental health to the point where we stopped new services from being brought into Eaton Rapids. We had a very long discussion with 4-H folks coming in. At that point in time, it's going to be a discussion of, are we in a position to do 15%, or are we in a position to, invest in some of those services?
Yep, good point. Commissioner Toomey.
I 100% agree with that sentiment. I'm looking at an additional $2 million of general fund dollars here, and we just went through cutting so many important services. So yeah, like I said, I understand where you're coming from. I don't think that we're ready for that yet, so.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, seeing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and that concludes my report.
You sure?
I hope. It was less than 4 hours. That's good.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Drosha. All right, next up, we have the administrator's report. Controller Dawson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to start by thanking Clerk Bosworth for her years of service to the county. It is no easy feat to run for office and to continue to show up for office after you've experienced what it's like to serve as an elected official, which is why I commend all of you around this horseshoe. But it is a noble feat, and the 3 years that I've gotten to work with her, she's been just a grace to work with, election integrity and accessibility, trying to make documents accessible for people, and really just a pleasure. So I'm also would like to congratulate Kim Morris and being appointed, and the judges that put through a process that was open, transparent, gave the opportunity for everyone to participate that was interested, and I look forward to working with you in that capacity as well. I know I've gotten to work with you over the years too, so I'm looking forward to continuing that in your new role. I will say for the community, Eaton County, from a budgetary standpoint, came about as close as you could to having an emergency manager while retaining local control. And I think as we talk with local communities, it's a good way of framing it, because, and in a situation where things got so bad that the state had to implement an emergency manager, they would have certain purviews out of the control of the elected officials. And so that is the line that we came up to, and through the decisions you made last year, put you in a position to have discussions about whether or not to have a fund balance over 10% at all. And so it's been a lot. It's been a lot for residents that have suffered losses of service. It's been a lot for the employees to go through. It was not an easy road, and we are not through it by any stretch of the imagination. But we have a path, and we have a way forward. So I'm looking to work with you all as we go through that. A couple things I'd mention, the audit for my office is a huge cyclical function. So, and it's fantastic because we come out of the budget, jump into the audit, out of the audit, jump into the budget. So for Melissa and the financial experts in my office, the work is never done. I think there was one person that remarked, oh, the audit's not a lot of work. It is, it's just not your job, right? And it's important to remember that. We try to do the best with the resources we have. And I really do thank you for that investment in staff, because I think as we invest in our capacity to go after grants, our ability to functionally manage the budgets more effectively, those will pay off as the years go on. So I thank you for that. Staffing update, which is a little late, sorry, Jane. So we were able to fill all the positions in our office. We have an HR administrator who will begin on Monday, and I'm very excited to work with them. Her name is Susan. We have a new accountant named Lisa that will begin on April 29th. Our financial purchasing assistant, a gentleman named Joss, started with us on March 30th. I want to thank everyone for investing in our office. We will work tirelessly to show you the return on investment that can bring in the work that we put out. And then Brandy came on as the Community Development and Services Director. Those were a lot of positions to fill in a very short period of time, but I am ecstatic at the quality of candidates and people that wanted to come and to work here. I think that's a testament to everything that we've been through. People still want to work here. They want to be a part of the fabric of Eaton County. And so we're happy to see that team come together. Legislative update, I'm shout out to Logan, our Governmental Affairs and Public Affairs Director. So we applied for both federal and state funding. We requested money at both levels for an animal control building. That is something we will have to replace. That building, I believe, is over 50 years old. And speaking of walls that are crumbling and drains that back up, that is the building. So we're hoping to leverage state or federal funds to make that possible. Even though we don't have animal control and enforcement capacity, we don't have officers going out to calls, we still have to maintain that facility for animals that are integrated into the judicial process because they're related to a bite or some kind of legal claim. That will not go away. So we are trying to get money to pay for it. ADA improvements to the courthouse, additional money for the Bank County drain because that's infrastructure has to be a priority. Missing middle housing, which is a discussion that we'll have next month, but it's not just about your expenditures. If you have issues like revenue issues, you can also attack it by trying to help with development and expanding your tax base in a positive way that also meets real needs for your residents. And so missing middle housing was a request, and then security equipment for the youth facility in the courthouse. We've had good success in these over the last 3 years, and we hope to continue to have good success. Logan has had frequent discussions with Congressman Barrett's office and Senator Peter's staff trying to coordinate what subcommittees through the appropriate process at the federal level would be best for the requests that we had. So fingers crossed. We authorized the 2.5 for the Bank Intercounty Drain. We see you, everyone that lives in that district. We understand what those assessments have done to you. We understand for the people that live in other drainage districts where the project is also significant for your community as well. And we're doing the best we can. There were a slew of bills that were introduced at the state level to add some reforms to the drain code to try to increase transparency, reporting, and information on the front end and extend the appeal stages for residents when a drainage project comes to town. Those are directly based on feedback and discussions that started here and went to Whitwer and have continued to garner bipartisan support at the state level. So we are trying, but the drain code requires a lot of reform. So you probably need 5 consecutive years of a package of bills of 7 or 8 to really get there. But the difficulty at this time is you can reform it, but until the state appropriates a funding mechanism, they're not fixing the full problem. And so that continues, I think, to be the discussion we have, is they should develop a trust fund that can go out and give communities funding for those projects. We had a town hall with townships, cities, and villages. So we invited Chair Mott and I hosted that, and it was very positive. We got to go through a lot of what we went through tonight, just kind of giving them a sense. I would say the people that were there were pleased, one, with the fund balance policy. I believe City Manager from Eaton Rapids had asked if 10 was the normal or do people go higher. A lot of folks want to make sure that we don't end up in another budget like we were before. So we're very sensitive to the reality that this has been difficult for everyone involved. We were able to present a contract service model for police services to the communities in District 1 plus Oneida and Calamo, just so they can see what that cost model would look like following the framework from Delta. We're going to develop one of those for animal control services and present that to all communities, what that framework and cost would look like if every community participated. Generally, this is the work you've hired me to do, and I will continue to strive to hit it. It's been a busy couple of months, so if you don't get me on the first go, no, I will probably follow up maybe half a day later, but I am available for any questions you guys have. And I do commend you all for your continued commitment to the county and the people who elected you. These are not easy jobs, and showing up every day and being available to folks, even when they have really passionate things that they're frustrated about, because it is real life stuff in that moment. And so thank you for your service, and I hope to help you be successful in your roles as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Controller Dawson. Anybody got any questions for Ben? Nope. Okay. All right, next up, we got elected officials comment. Any elected officials here? There. Treasurer Raynette.
Good evening, Darius Raynette, Eaton County Treasurer. Excuse me. I just wanted to say, with Clerk Boswick's retirement, I'm sorry to see Diane go. She, like Connie Sobel, has been a fixture here in the county. As a candidate, where I first began to know her, I always enjoyed talking with Diane when I had a question about the campaign finance reports. As you're aware, they seem to come out on at least to me, an irregular schedule. There was like a pre and then a post-election, and then there was something in the middle of it, and then months of no activity, and there was something coming up, and I always seemed to have the same question, and I was always concerned that maybe I was annoying her. Asking the same question, but if I did, she never let on. She's always been very knowledgeable and gracious. As the treasurer, it's been a pleasure to work with her. I'm only sorry that we didn't have a longer working relationship. Her retirement is certainly well deserved, and I have complete faith in her staff and in Kim that they will continue to provide the excellent service the public has come to expect from the clerk's office. Thank you.
Yes. Treasurer Raynette, we have a question for you. From Commissioner DeRocha.
wish him a very happy belated birthday. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. I'm fortunate that having applied for Medicare will be a few years off yet, so, yeah. So, thank you.
Commissioner Christensen, sorry.
I'm just wondering, did you find a few kittens in your office?
Yes, I did, yes. That was very clever, yes, what Brandy Miller put in there, yes. It was a very pleasant surprise, thank you.
Not gonna ask. All right, thank you. All right, next we have commissioner comments, and I'll start off. I just want to congratulate Diana on her retirement. Really going to miss her. I think we all are. And she's been such a fixture here, and she's such a delight to talk to, and been such a help to the residents and everyone that comes through that door. Just, I think, leaves with reassurance that all their questions have been answered, and they've been helped. And we welcome Kim. Thank you so much for taking this role. And we watched you work, and we know that you were dedicated as well, and want to help the residents. And this is how it's supposed to work, really. I mean, we had Ben come in, and it was a smooth transition, right? He went in there, and it was like it just picked right up. And this is going to be the same way. And thank you for sticking around, Commissioner Purwhite.
I will say Diana Bosworth has been a wonderful clerk to us, and I will miss her, but I know she's going to have a happy retirement with her family. And Kim's always been wonderful on my campaign reports, right on top of it. So I'm looking forward to working with you as the clerk.
Commissioner Christensen.
Thank you. I just wanted to kind of echo what's been said. Diana has always been extremely helpful. She's answered questions, probably questions she didn't have to answer, but she's been helpful. But she's leaving us in good hands because Kim has been nothing short of amazing as well with helping during campaign season and just with general questions. I did want to go over a couple things for my district, 12, which is within the city of Charlotte. There will be on Wednesday, April 22nd, in the city of Charlotte, if any of the residents are interested. It's Earth Day, and we're going to be doing a city cleanup. The first one, I believe, is going to start at 11 a.m. We'll meet behind City Hall downtown, and the second one will start at 5 p.m. I don't know an exact location on that start place yet. I would just say watch for details on the Facebook pages. I know that we gave the corrections officers and the police appreciation weeks coming up in May. I did want to give, I know we're only operating at a certain percentage right now, but I did want to give a shout out to Christy at Animal Control because this week, April 12th to the 18th, is Animal Control Officers Appreciation Week. And I know her hands are tied in a lot of things right now, and I know she goes above and beyond, and she is doing the best that she very much can. And then lastly, I wanted to thank our telecommunications officers because this week is Telecommunications Officers Week. So our 911 central dispatchers, the people that are there to keep us calm in the moments we call and are freaking out because something's wrong or we need help immediately. So I wanted to say thank you to them as well. We greatly appreciate them. That's all I have.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Barber.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I would just like to invite all the commissioners or any public that hasn't been to Eaton Rapids lately or ever to put it on your calendar. May 7th through the 10th is Urban Air. That's where the Airstream campers will be parked down Main Street. There'll be other things going on. There'll be some concerts, a beer tent, some other events going on. But yeah, if you haven't been, come on down. You get to walk around, look at the campers, talk to these people, and yeah, have a good time. That's all.
Commissioner Peak.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to take a moment to draw attention to April 28th as Workers' Memorial Day. It's a day to honor those who have been injured or killed on the job. It's something that we've been doing since, since 1971 when OSHA was in place. On average, we lose about 151 people on the work site every year. And so it's important to keep that in mind and make sure we're keeping everyone safe on the job here in the county and throughout the state.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Yep. Commissioner Moudry and then Commissioner Shaver.
One of the things we did today was approve the grant for the Banks drain, okay? And Jane Whitaker and I attended the bank drain monthly update, project update today. Okay, for the bank drain. And as the meetings go similar to ours, Paul Pratt, was the acting Ingham County Drain Commissioner at the meeting, okay? And he got all excited about a BWL part of the schedule, the agenda. And so when we got to it, Eric Dybel, who's the head coordinator for the project, he says, okay, I'm going to take over that Board of Water and Light issue. So Eric looks me right square in the eyes, and he says, this is Division E, okay? This is the southern part of the district. He looks me straight in the eye, and he says, I want to bring up 3 streets. He says, Harvest, Oak Crest, and Meadowview Lane. And I'm thinking, why is he looking at me? Well, when he named off these streets, these are streets in my neighborhood. This is the street I live on, you know? What's the deal with the Board of Water and Light? And he said, that subdivision has streetlights, okay? And the streetlights were put in the easement, so they have to come down, they have to come out. He says, historically, Board of Water and Light removes these streetlights. When the project is over, they reinstall them at no cost, okay? There was a change of policy with Board of Water and Light. They are going to charge the project $28,000 to do what just a year or two ago was done for nothing. Okay, so here we are, we're begging for project money, for grants, okay? And now we're going to be charged $28,000 because of a change of policy. Okay, $28,000 represents 2 assessments, okay? And I just want to let everybody know that this is the kind of stuff that comes down on this project, which is escalating the cost. And there's been a lot of abatement issues with removing that, which was once a Catholic high school on Saginaw. It's referred to as 4300 West Saginaw, okay? That's eating up a lot of the money also. That wasn't anticipated. So everything is not going real smooth, but they're working the problems. We're getting over it. We're proceeding. And then it started raining 2 weeks ago. And now they're trying to figure out how to drain all the water so they can continue with the project. So you may not hear a lot about what's going on, but Commissioner Whitaker and I, we attend the monthly meetings, and not necessarily, we're as commissioners, okay, as residents, And it's really enlightening. We're the only actual people, residents, that attend those meetings. So I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on over there.
Yeah, thank you for that update. Appreciate it. Commissioner Shaver and then Commissioner Whitaker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Wanted to first of all congratulate Diana on her retirement, and also congratulate Kim on her appointment. Excited to work with you. Thankful for everything that you've done for so many years. I wanted to speak about the millages that we've now put on the ballots in August and in November respectively, and their importance. And just to add a little bit to what Controller Dawson had said about why now, and the two that really some people would say, why are you doing it now? And my perspective is even a little bit different, because I believe that I was elected to make the county government here more efficient and more effective. And there was a lot of can kicking over not recent years, but if we look back a decade, 2, even 3 decades, there was a lot of can kicking. I personally have a no can kicking policy. I don't want to see the can kick down the road anymore. And that's what we would be doing by taking those right out to really the last moment. We need help from the voters in order to make the government here in the county stable and more efficient. It's the difference between your board, in my opinion, being proactive versus reactive. And proactivity will allow us to work further out into the future and to a place where the legacy retirement obligations are lessened and we're able to restore services. But if we're constantly having to react to the next crisis, those will be further out. And so I think it's important for voters to consider that. I'm thankful for the opportunities that we'll have to communicate these things to our district. My district specifically, and District 1's the largest geographic area in a commission district, and it happens to be that coming up in Vermontville, I believe it's the 85th Vermontville Maple Syrup Festival is happening on the 24th, 25th, and 26th of this month. I look forward to seeing you there. If you haven't been to Vermontville or you haven't been there in a long time, this is the time to come. There's not always a lot of other things happening, in District 1, but there will be thousands of people that are there. Best maple syrup ever, and a great time to bring out the family and have fun. So you're all invited. Come join in the festivities in District 1. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep. Thank you, Commissioner Shaver. Commissioner Whitaker.
Thank you. Just to follow up a little bit on Commissioner Moody's comments, I feel that I would like to assure you all, and I guess the public, that the work that is being done at the Bank Drain project, I think is very well managed. And there's a lot of legalities involved in this whole project with right-of-ways and easements and public domain and assessments. And to my understanding and what I've experienced, everything is being done to a T, to the law. And I think that if you see just the management of the project, the pieces of it, all the things that have to get done, because it's a big project, and it's a big expensive project, but the people who are doing it know what they're doing. And they're really committed to being frugal and being good stewards of our resources. And I just want people to know that despite the, all the things that are wrong with the drain code and the burden that it puts on people financially, the project, I presume other projects the drain projects in the county too, are very well managed by Spicer Group. And I have a lot of confidence that where the investment that we're making is being done well. So just wanted to reassure you that.
Thank you. Thank you for those comments. Commissioner Toomey.
Thank you. Just like everybody else, wanted to congratulate Clerk Bosworth and also congratulate Clerk Morris. So looking forward to working with you, and congratulations again, and congratulations to Diane on her well-deserved retirement. I also wanted to say thank you to everybody that came out to the Diamonddale Easter egg hunt. We had to delay it for a week because of the rain, which we have all experienced, but it was good, not as muddy as it could have been, and it was a great time as always. So big thank you to the Lions Club and all the volunteers that make that possible. I also want to say thank you to Commissioner Peak for mentioning Workers' Memorial Day. It's very important that we recognize the folks that are injured or die on the job site, you know, whether that's in our county or across the state. So thank you, Commissioner Peak. And I did want to clarify one other thing from earlier while we were talking about our fund balance policy and paying down our liabilities. And I just want to stress as we go into another year of budgeting, of budget season, that we need to really be mindful about how we're balancing our responsibilities to be, you know, budgetarily sound, as well as investing in people today. Because when you go to the voters and we talk about really important things like these millages, and you say, hey, we need more money, and then they look at the county and they say, I give you more money for you to strip more service away from me, right? So in the eyes of the public sometimes, they're gonna look at that and they're gonna say, listen, I get it. We have to be good stewards of the county's money. We have to pay down these liabilities. We have to make sure that everything's working as it should. And that 10%, those multi-millions of dollars that we're leaving in there is already doing that. You know, so younger families here are in a situation where it's pay, and we take to pay off the benefits of other generations that received these services, that received animal control, that received 4-H, that received community mental health, right? So we need to be very mindful of how much more we can ask people to give, and not get as much in return. So that's all I want to say about that. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Arndt?
At the risk of being redundant, congratulations again to our new clerk. And it's not really, I mean, it's hardly new. You've been very helpful for the past. I have numerous emails that say how helpful you are coming from you. And I hope Diana knows how grateful we are to all the work and contributions she's been put into our community for, I've basically lost track of how many years at this point. 34. There's no way I would have remembered that. And I was, how old were you 34 years ago?
I'm not going to say.
Younger than him still. And we do need to be, I hate to steal the word mindful from him, or maybe he read my mind, but the biggest issue with the millages, and I'm very self-conscious that we're talking about 4 millages on the on the income tax filing deadline, so this is a terrible holiday. But essentially, we're asking the voting public for permission to not raise taxes, but use the taxes to stabilize the government so we can keep providing the services. But the big concern is just how much the voting public trusts the county government with that money, and we need to successfully assure them that we will steward it successfully and responsibly. Otherwise, they won't give us that permission, and then we will have problems onward.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anyone else? All right, seeing none, we're going to move on. Next up, we have old business, and we have a technical change for the road millage resolution that we adopted last month. Ben?
All right. So this is rescinding and replacing the resolution to adopt the road millage that we had last month. Chairman Mott is correct. It's a technical change. Turned out our L4029 that we submit every year that shows when millages expire had the wrong date there. We've updated it. So it actually expired in 2025. The last winter tax levy for the road was last winter tax bill. So we amended the first year of levy instead of 2027 to be 2026. If it were to pass in November, that would allow for it to be levied with the winter tax of 26. So this just means that the millage wouldn't go a year without collecting because of a technical error. And the numbers and the TIFA withholdings were updated to reflect because you do it based on the estimate of what it would be in the first year. Those are the only changes.
Moved by Commissioner Shaver, supported by Commissioner DeRosa. Any more questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried.
Have to do a roll call again?
Probably be good.
Okay.
Thanks.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Shaver,
Yes.
Commissioner Arndt,
Yes.
Commissioner Peak,
Yes.
Commissioner Haskell,
Yes.
Commissioner Prowright,
No.
Commissioner Whitaker,
Yes.
Commissioner Mudry,
No.
Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Drosha,
Yes.
Commissioner Toomey,
Yes.
Commissioner Hanson,
Yes.
Commissioner Christensen,
Yes.
Commissioner Holmes, Commissioner Barber, Chairman Mott.
Yes. Motion passes. All right, next we have a new business. We have a resolution of a county commitment for Waverly Schools for police service agreement. Do you want to talk on that, please?
So this would authorize the county to move forward with drafting a letter of commitment to Waverly Schools. They have an eligibility for a 3-year grant, but they have to submit it before the full board meets in May. We've talked about this a little bit with Maple Valley too. The deadline got pushed back for them, the state figuring out their budget, and what that led to was a crunch for schools to navigate having to get access to funds from the time they were authorized. So this would just allow us to commit to providing police services subject to final agreement. On Monday, we met. It was a very positive meeting. We presented a school resource officer contract that had the same type of framework that we have with Delta and with Windsor Township, where there's an investment upfront into MERS, and then the 15% with 5% being allocated to paying down the unfunded liability. And at the actual expense of the deputy, and they were open to it. So they asked if we could do this. So this will just put us in a position to help them to secure funding, which will be a big part of their final decision if they're able to retain the contract they've had since 2022.
So moved.
Support.
Moved by Commissioner Whitaker, supported by Commissioner Pearl Wright. Commissioner Rocha.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So as I read through this, there is no financial obligation at this point from Eaton County.
You are correct.
And then once once the letter of commitment is sent and there's an agreement by what body for the grant?
Yeah, so this is honestly very similar to when we come to you and we're like, we applied for a grant because we didn't have time to give it to you, but final approval still subject to this body. That is the case. The difference is the grant has a requirement that you get a letter of commitment from the police agency, essentially, so that's why we have to draft it this way. They were going to get me the actual letter, but they weren't able to do it because we just met Monday and things are very fluid. Otherwise, I would have just presented that. This just lets me authorize it. I'm hoping this is enough, but state of Michigan might want 2 additional check boxes, and I don't know what they are, so this just lets me do that. If they apply for the funding and then we move forward with renewing the contract, because I think it expires in June or July of this year, we'll bring the Waverly School Resource Officer Agreement to this committee, and then it will have to get approved by the school board simultaneously. So you'll have a review of the finances and the agreement itself. This will just line up for them the ability to pay for it for at least 3 years.
Thank you.
Yep.
Commissioner Haskell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ben, if I remember right, the contract with the Delta Township allowed for this school resource officer to be supervised under the Delta contract, correct?
You are correct.
So that would be the only difference, I guess, in the typical framework is that we don't need its own individual command unit.
You nailed it. Yep. And I put in there very clearly, like highlighted in bold, like the roughly 56,000. That's the 21% of a sergeant's full rate and expense is being paid or covered by Delta. And you are correct. So part of our Delta contract was that they would provide that. And I think we've had discussions here. If another school approached us, I think under the way that the deal is structured, you could also, as a board, say we would like to cover the general fund obligation for a sergeant for a school resource officer, because it's in that same vein. You're trying to make it easier for schools to contract with us for that service. But
Wouldn't they need a municipality that's contracted with us to piggyback off of then?
I think I lost the question.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we specifically structured a contract with Delta Township so that, and they volunteered and said, what, you can use our command structure, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's technically a burden on their contract. So I just want to make sure that it's equitable moving forward, but.
I think it is. If a school approached us, that's how I would approach the Delta Township Board, is say, we would like to have a sergeant in Command Central provide minimal support. I mean, essentially, it's, approving time cards and giving oversight and direction. There's mutual aid built into all these contracts. So even if it was a situation where, say, the sergeant at Command Central wasn't available, Delta's command might actually answer the call too because of the mutual aid built in. So I do think equitably we're there. Just keep planting that seed because you've got Maple Valley that can't afford a full-time officer, but anything we can do to make it easier for schools to approach us, because it does a lot for the culture of the school, relationship building between students and police officers, so they get kind of a positive relationship when they're in their younger years. And so there's a lot of benefits that come with it.
No, I'm all in favor of it. I just, like I said, with how we've talked about the contracts in the past, I do wonder if we would be opening up ourselves to say, say the Windsor contract would support, a Charlotte School Resource Officer, just throwing it out there. Would then the Windsor contract be credited, or would they have a reason to ask for it?
Oh, I hear you. Okay, yeah. I think that kind of modeling could very well work. And so what we presented to the communities of District 1 and Oneida was that kind of resource sharing, to be honest. And I think there's room for that probably in the future too. Like, for instance, if Delta was open to it coming out of command, that might be savings that can be like credited back to them. This is our first year in. I think everybody wants to see kind of how those cards play out, but I think you've got what we estimate that we're going to save in MERS for the contribution changes that we made. So there will be personnel savings for all of that personnel, which translates to savings on the Delta contract, plus the extension that we did on those years. So that will be savings that they get next year when we go to do next year's budget. Plus, there's the credit for the money that they put forward into MERS, because there was this 5.93% growth that we put on that, which is essentially the credit for the earnings that we're going to get off of the deposit. Anyway, I think as those savings get plugged in, that might be a line of discussion that we could have with the township if they're open to it, is by providing that kind of support, you might be able to lower your bill even further.
Yeah, I mean, it's again, one of those kind of like weird things where, man, this would be so much easier if our villages just would have passed and we could have had a road patrol, but here we are. But I do want to commend Delta and Waverly for working together and kind of having the foresight to think about this, a year ahead of time, so thank you to them.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, that brings us to our second limited public comment. If there is anyone who would like to approach the board, we have 3 minutes, please.
I won't use all three. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Christensen. I am Charlotte City Councilman for District 1. First off, congratulations, Kim. I think Judge Cunningham and Judge Morton made a very wise decision in your selection. Last but not least, the Eaton County Business Expo is this Saturday and Sunday at the fairgrounds. Little different this year because of the tent situation and the parking of some shift vehicles down there. The new entrance, or the main entrance, is going to be over on the tent side, as well as more of the parking because of all those vehicles over there. So keep that in mind. It should be a wonderful time. It's always great to attend. A lot of people. My wife has to drag me out of there every year we go because I won't stop talking to people. So And that, again, locals and business and the Schlott Chamber have done a wonderful job of putting that together. So hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Anyone else? All right, seeing none. With that, thank you, everyone. Thank you, commissioners. Good meeting, good discussion, and thanks, everyone, for being here. With that, we are going to adjourn to Wednesday, May 20th, at our regular meeting at 6 p.m.